Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com tonight from Butch Butler Field in Greeley. It's the Class 3A state championship game as the Brush Bee Diggers take on the Eaton Reds. I'm John Beltran as the Bee Diggers got to this point today with an incredible effort, rallying from a 3-0 deficit and beating Eaton 4-3, handing Eaton their first loss in the double elimination tournament. And Kyle Rosenbrock had a game for the ages, throwing 158 pitches, striking out 13, walking 9, and allowing 10 hits. Quite the scoreline. And believe it or not, Rosenbrock, knowing that this will be the last game of his high school career, regardless of the result, has lobbied to start the game, and he will be the starting pitcher for Brush for this championship game after throwing, again, 158 pitches. Let's set the lineup for the Eaton Reds. Batting first is the third baseman, Lane Greiman. The left-handed pitcher, Ryan Kaler, hits second. Batting third is the shortstop, Matt Burkhart. For the Reds, the cleanup hitter is the first baseman, Joe Mondragon. Sean Carson in left hits fifth. The catcher, Joe Kuhn, hits sixth. The designated hitter bats seventh. That's Dalton Lind. Brady Tedesco in center hits eighth. And J.T. Mossberg, the second baseman, will bat ninth. And even better news for this game is that Nico Guzman, who had a stomach ailment and did not play for the first 3 innings of game number 1, is healthy, feeling much better, and is in the starting lineup. The Bee Diggers defensively about to take the field have B.J. Hirschfeld at first. Trent Mount is the second baseman. Mikey Gutierrez at third. In between him at short is Arnoldo Baby Maltos Garcia. It's Grayson Simmons in left, Nico Guzman in center. The right fielder, Zane Fowl. Behind the plate is Alec Peterson. And on the mound is Kyle Rosenbrock. Head coaches are meeting at home plate. Kevin Fergus for Brush, with the Bee Diggers now at 19-6. And Jim Danley for Eaton. They are 25-1 after the 4-3 victory. Keep in mind, if this game ventures into the night, and I'm talking into the darkness, there are lights here at Butch Butler Field, so that's not a concern, and the skies remain clear. And momentarily, the Bee Diggers will take the field for their second state championship game in 4 years. They lost to Eaton here 6-4 when Rosenbrock was a freshman, hit a 3-run homer in that game. And Rosenbrock is on the hill. You have to wonder what the Eaton players are thinking with Rosenbrock back out there. But like he told the coaches, I'm a linebacker next season. He'll be playing football at CSU Pueblo. Says his arm feels good and he's ready to go. So both teams with similar lineups. The only difference, of course, being that Ryan Kaler is the starting pitcher here for Eaton in the championship game. Dalton Lind started yesterday in the 13-6 victory over Sterling for Eaton. And then they had about 3 or 4 other pitchers come into the game. We had Brady Tedesco start for the Reds in the first game here today, followed by Lane Greiman. And we'll see. I mean, it's Kyle Rosenbrock, Superman. We're going to find out. I think he is already. But the fact that he's taken the mound for this game is incredible. How do you beat a team twice in one day that is 25-0 before today's action? That's what the Bee Diggers are trying to accomplish here tonight against Eaton. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that from a psychological standpoint, the Bee Diggers have the edge. But from a personnel standpoint, at least from the pitching standpoint, you've got a fresh pitcher going for Eaton. We'll just see how good he is. Rosenbrock right now is going on true grit. And he can certainly pitch better than he did in Game 1, but before Game 1, that was before he threw the first of 158 pitches. And he looks pretty good warming up here. And you know, in the old days, there was no such thing as pitch count. I think Nolan Ryan threw about a 255-pitch outing. And there were crazy, crazy numbers put up years ago, decades ago. Now, from what I understand, either next year or the year after, they will have pitch counts. But that's not in place this year. And, of course, at the younger levels, they have innings counts for the tournaments that a lot of these kids play in. But that does not apply at the high school level. Opening pitch is brought to you by Buildings by Design. The experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. And Lane Greiman, who struck out 3 times and had a double and a walk in the opening game, will step in against Kyle Rosenbrock. The pitch and the breaking ball is up and in. It was definitely a hitter's strike zone in the first game. One of the reasons that Rosenbrock was extended to nearly 160 pitches, the offering. And that fastball to the screen. 2 balls and no strikes. Now, Rosenbrock is not coming off that mound. It would take either a huge Eaton rally, but he's not going to do it on his own. 2-0, and that's low with a changeup, and Rosenbrock behind in the count. 3 balls and no strikes. The Bee Diggers got off to a slow start against Eaton in the opening game today. And the 3-0 pitch, that's right there for a strike with a fastball in the inside corner. And the count to Greiman is 3 balls and 1 strike. You can follow us pitch by pitch at KSIRsports.com. 3-1, and that is low with a fastball. And Rosenbrock thought he had strike 2, but again, it's a very tight strike zone, and Greiman walks. And that'll send up Ryan Kaler. Kaler hitting from the left side. He's had success against Rosenbrock. He was 2 for 2 in the opening game. Did homer against Rosenbrock when they played him earlier in the tournament. And the fastball's a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. And the Bee Diggers have got to play impeccable defense as they did in Game 1. They did not commit an error. The only error was committed by the Reds, the stretch. Rosenbrock comes home, and that pitch bounces in and bounces all the way to the screen. And a second will be Greiman on the wild pitch. It'll be 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, this is simply a product of Kyle throwing all these pitches, and we did have a 45-minute break in between games, and I don't know if that was a good or a bad thing for him based on what he's done in the early going of the state championship game. 1 ball and 1 strike to Ryan Kaler, the stretch. Rosenbrock looks back, and the offering. Fastball is down and in, and B.J. Hirschfeld more than likely would be the pitcher right behind Rosenbrock if Rosenbrock cannot get through a portion of this game. Nico Guzman threw 121 pitches yesterday. And, of course, you have the sophomores in Ryan Fergus and Jaron Peterson. Rosenbrock looks back 2-1, swung on and grounded slowly up the first baseline. B.J. Hirschfeld has it, steps in the bag. Moving to third is Greiman as Kaler is out. And there's 1 down on that slow bouncer. 1 down for Matt Burkhardt. Burkhardt's a tough hitter to retire, let alone strike out. And that's the other thing. How many strikeouts does Rosenbrock have left in that arm? The pitch in the dirt with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes, and Alec Peterson has been a monster behind home plate. He's blocked virtually everything. 2 for 5 was Burkhardt with a couple of strikeouts in the 4-3 Bee Digger victory. The pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outer half of the knees, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the right-handed hitting Eaton shortstop, that is Matt Burkhardt. Here's the wind and the 1-1. And the curveball is lifted into shallow center field. Long run for Guzman, still going. He dives, can't make the play. It's a base hit. Foul picks up the baseball. Scoring is Greiman. And on the bloop single, Eaton leads 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. As Matt Burkhardt drives in the run. Here is Joe Mondragon. That's the other thing. The Bee Diggers had to fight so hard to win that first game. How much energy do they have left in this game? We know one thing. They will not give up. They could have folded it in, and that pitch bounces away. Or did the ball hit Mondragon? It hit Mondragon on the breaking ball. Now first and second for Eaton, and Rosenbrock is off to a rough start. Here is Sean Carson, who hit into a grounder that ended the game, which gave Brush the victory on a play by the shortstop, Baby Matos Garcia. The stretch. Rosenbrock looks back at the outing. Swung on and popped up very high into shallow center field. And let's see, the shortstop, Matos Garcia, makes the catch in right center. He had to use that second hand. That thing was in a land of nowhere. And Baby, with that athleticism, was able to make the play. There's 2 down. Yeah, that was dangerous, and Baby made a heck of a play. The runners hold. And here is Joe Kuhn. Rosenbrock now has thrown 172 pitches dating back to the opening game. Joe Kuhn was 2 for 3 with a walk in game 1. And in that first inning, Rosenbrock allowed 2 of the 3 runs he would give up in the game. The stretch by Rosenbrock. And the pitch. And that breaking ball bounces in, and Kyle is short-arming a lot of these pitches. He's only thrown 6 strikes out of 15 pitches, the stretch. And the 1-0. Fastball is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes with a very dangerous Dalton Lind on deck. 1-0 Eaton in the top of the first inning for the second straight game. They've tallied a run, at least a run in the first inning. And the 2-0. Fastball is up and in. Ball 3 with no strikes to Joe Kuhn. Off of second is Burkhart. Mondragon at first. The pitch. That's a fastball right down the middle for a strike, belt high. 3 balls and 1 strike. Beat Diggers will have to hit this game. There's no way that Rosenbrock can shut down Eaton for a second straight game with all these pitches. 3-1. Swung on, grounded to short. Matos Garcia charges, steps on the bag for the force. And the top of the first inning has come to an end. The Reds do score a run. The Reds pick up a hit. No errors and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the first inning in the Class 3A state championship game. It's Eaton 1, and the Beat Diggers are coming to bat on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Beat Diggers starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill Beef, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. For the Beat Diggers, batting first is the first baseman B.J. Hirschfeld. The shortstop, Baby Matos Garcia, hits second. Kyle Rosenbrock, the pitcher, hits third. Catcher Alec Peterson is in a cleanup position. Batting fifth is the center fielder, Nico Guzman. Zane Fowl, the right fielder, hits sixth. Brandon Walters, the designated hitter, he bats seventh. Mikey Gutierrez, the third baseman, hits eighth. And Grayson Simmons, the left fielder, will bat ninth. Defensively for Eaton, Joe Mondragon's at first. J.T. Mossberg at second. The third baseman is Lane Greiman. In between him at short is Matt Burkhart. Sean Carson's in left, Brady Tedesco in center. The right fielder's Braden Stover. Behind the plate is Joe Kuhn. And left-hander Ryan Kaler, who the Beat Diggers have not seen this season, is on the mound. And B.J. Hirschfeld will step in to begin the bottom of the first inning. Eaton scored a run on Matt Burkhart's bloop single. Hirschfeld was 0 for 3. In the opening game, he's got 3 hits in 15 at-bats in the state tournament. And that's actually not bad considering the quality of pitching once you get to this point. This is the final game of the 2014-2015 Colorado High School sports season for the 3A title. The stretch with the bases empty by the left-hander Kaler. And now he steps off. Now back on the rubber as Kuhn lays down the sign. And the pitch to Hirschfeld. Tails away. Took something off at 1 ball and no strikes. The Beat Diggers just won a classic less than an hour ago, and now looking to finish it off. 1 ball and no strikes to Hirschfeld. The offering on the inside corner with a strike. And the count is level at 1-1. A long pause by Kaler. Looks in, and the offering. Swag, and a missing a ball up in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to B.J. Hirschfeld. B-Diggers don't mind a deficit. They just want a deficit that is within range, as they saw in the first game. 1-2 pitch. Fastball tails away. Count levels at 2-2. A bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. Morgan Federal Bank, 321 Ensign. There's a difference. Morgan Federal Bank, the stretch. And the 2-2 pitch. Swinging a foul to the backstop. Count remains at 2-2. Shout out to all the Beat Digger fans listening on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. An incredible sports year, state football championship, Final 8 in basketball, runner-up with 2 individual champions in wrestling, team runner-up that is, and the offering. Swung on and fouled on the off-speed pitch over to the first base side. Count remains at 2-2 to B.J. Hirschfeld. And this is the 5th meeting of the season between the teams. Eaton is 3-1 against Brush, but the Beat Diggers had the most recent win. And none of those victories matter at this point. The offering. Swung on and driven in the air down the right field side. 2 is left to Stover along the line, makes the catch. And there's 1 down. 1 down in the bottom of the first inning for Arnoldo Matos Garcia, who had a double in the opening game. Baby was 1 for 4 with a run scored. As the Bee Diggers had to face some tough pitching there, starting with Brady Tedesco, who's now in center field for this game, and Lane Greiman. The stretch. Pitch to Baby, and that changeup is low. 1 ball and no strikes on the changeup down in the zone to Matos Garcia. Kuhn lays down the sign. And the pitch. Swing and drive into deep right center field. That ball's in a gap. That ball's going to drop for a base hit. Tedesco tries to chase it down, cannot. And Matos Garcia to second. That's his second double in as many games on that line drive from Baby. And the Beat Diggers have a runner in scoring position in the bottom of the first inning. And here comes Kyle Rosenbrock. What a job going the other way by Arnoldo Matos Garcia. And keep in mind, he's only a junior. He's one of the few Beat Diggers that will be coming back next year for this experienced team. Rosenbrock digs in from the right side. The stretch. Pitch to Kyle. Pitches a little bit inside, and then Matos Garcia was off of second a little bit, did not take off. 2 for 3 with a double, and a run scored was Rosenbrock in the opening game. 1 ball and no strikes. Eaton with a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning in this 3A state championship from Butch Butler Field in Greeley on a gorgeous Wednesday evening. Sun is still out in full force. Rosenbrock awaits the offering. Swung on and driven into the left center field gap, but to his right is Tedesco making the catch. Then he falls down. That allows Matos Garcia to tag up. And that's a heck of a play out there by Tedesco, because that was headed for trouble, but the defense was too good there by the Reds. Man at third and 2 down. And here is Peterson. Peterson had that RBI double and then scored a couple of runs on wild pitches in that 4-3 Brush victory. And he's had a solid state tournament. As we mentioned, he homered in the first game against Peak to Peak the pitch. Fastball is low. Petey has a base hit in every game in the tournament. He is 6 out of 18, a .333 average against the top competition in 3A. The stretch with a man at third and 2 down. The pitch to Petey. And it's in the dirt. Gets away. Matos Garcia towards the plate. He slides. He's in there. The wild pitch only got away about a foot. Maybe a couple of feet from Joe Kuhn, and the Beat Diggers have tied the game at 1 in the bottom of the first inning. I'm telling you, Baby read that perfectly, and he was not to be denied. And now it's a 2-ball, no strike count to Alec Peterson. And the Beat Diggers are the team taking advantage of the breaks. Long pause by Kaler. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and hit very high into left center field. Sean Carson, the left fielder to his left, is going to make the catch. A little bit of a snow cone out there, but it doesn't matter. He puts it away, and the inning is over. The Beat Diggers pick up a run. On 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. We have played 1 inning in the 2015 Colorado Class 3A State Championship game. Brush 1, Eaton 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Well, Kyle Rosenbrock is now at short after 177 pitches, including 19 in the opening frame. So B.J. Hirschfeld is now the new pitcher for the Beat Diggers. Aaron Williams over at first base, and you could see Kyle was laboring in that first inning. And he wanted to go out there, I'm sure, for the second. Not much left in the arm. So again, Rosenbrock at short, Matos Garcia at second, Williams at first. So 3 positions have changed in the infield, with Gutierrez remaining as the third baseman. We're deadlocked at 1, with Brush and Eaton in the top of the second inning. Hirschfeld picked up the victory in relief, and that 3-2 10-inning victory in the first game for the Beat Diggers in this tournament against Peak to Peak. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters: Dalton Lind, Brady Tedesco, and J.T. Mossberg. Yeah, I didn't think the coaches were going to allow Rosenbrock to throw close to 200 pitches. And the infield is actually a little bit stronger now. Matos Garcia played an excellent short today. Excellent short, but his natural position is second, and Rosenbrock has been very good at short. And Mikey Gutierrez, who had his struggles yesterday, has been very solid with the plays he's made over at third base. So here we go to begin the second. Well, now we got Kevin Fergus, the head coach of the Beat Diggers, conversing with the home plate umpire up the third base side. So we'll have a little bit of a delay before we head to the second inning, deadlocked at 1. Northeast Colorado's locally owned Hometown Savings and Loan, with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Equitable Savings and Loan with financial solutions for you. And accidents and illness can strike at any time, day and night. When they do, every second counts. As a Level 3 trauma center, Colorado Plains Medical Center is ready to handle any type of emergency. That's Colorado Plains Medical Center. Hirschfeld still taking his warm-ups. This is a long stretch. Normally we go about a minute, and that's about it, a minute plus in between frames. But this is more than a major league break, which is usually about 2.5 minutes. And at some point, we'll get to it. We remind you can always follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports, our 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page, or Pitch by Pitch. Go to KSIRsports.com, click on the faster connections, recommended, and then the link for today's game. You'll see the entire box score, the Beat Diggers' 4-3 victory over Eaton earlier today, and all the prior games in the state tournament and throughout the course of the season. And, of course, this game as well. Here is Lind. Wind and pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outer half at the knees. Lind was 1 for 4 in the opening game. Hirschfeld, a junior right-hander. Winds and delivers. Changeup is low. Count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. BJ would qualify certainly as the number 3 pitcher on this team after Rosenbrock and Guzman, but a solid number 3. The offering swung on and driven in the air into left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. That will roll all the way to the fence, cut off by Simmons, but it's a double to begin the second by Dalton Lind. And that'll be the question, whether the Beat Diggers run out of pitching here in this game and whether they have to win the game by outscoring Eaton. And here is Brady Tedesco. Tedesco had his struggles against Rosenbrock. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The stretch by Hirschfeld. Big lead at second. The offering. Swung on. That is lined into right center field. And to his right is foul. He makes the play. And holding up there at second is Lind. Foul read it beautifully. That was headed for a gap. But a good play by the Beat Digger right fielder. There's one down. Those are 2 shots to begin this inning for the Reds. J.T. Mossberg is now the hitter. The stretch and the offering. And the curveball is in there for a strike at the knees. Mossberg was 0 for 3, and he struck out 3 times. He did walk. The stretch by Hirschfeld and the pitch. Oh, man, he unleashed that all the way to the screen. I mean, that was about 1.5 feet over the hitter's head. To third. On the play is Lind. One ball and 1 strike. Hard to describe how badly he threw that pitch. Completely slipped out of his hand and went behind and well above the hitter. The offering. Fastball is a strike on the outer half just above the knees. And he's ahead of Mossberg at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Beat Diggers have the infield back. They'll concede the run for an out with 1 down in the second. The offering. Curveball. He nearly hit him. He tried to inch that shoulder into the ball. The count is at 2-2. Petey lays down the sign. Mossberg awaits the pitch. And here it is. And he bounces it in on the changeup. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, the one thing you have to avoid of your brush is the big inning. Three and 2 to Mossberg. The offering. Fastball low. It's a walk. First and third for Lane Greiman, who walked to begin the game. The Beat Diggers got away with 9 walks and still won the game, but this is a Reds team that usually capitalizes. An amazing 17 men left on base in game 1. The pitch. Fastball, a strike, belt high. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Brush 1, Eaton 1. We're in the top of the second inning in the Class 3A state championship game from Greeley. Hirschfeld looks back. And the pitch. Curveball is a strike on the inside corner, a late call. The Red fans didn't like it, but it's 0-2. Now what Rosenbrock has that Hirschfeld is still searching for is that out pitch. But let's see if he can deliver it here. On the 0-2. Swung on and lifted into left center field. That'll score a run. Nico Guzman comes in, makes the catch. Dalton Lind tags, and it's going to be 2-1 on the sacrifice fly by Lane Greiman. Holding up at first was J.T. Mossberg. And again, just avoid the big inning, because this team has too much talent in Eaton. And they can put together some runs, but if Hirschfeld can give them some quality innings, the Beat Diggers will be okay as they were in the opening game. Hirschfeld stretches. And the pitch swung on and lifted foul out of play to Ryan Kaler. Kaler in his first plate appearance grounded to first. Is it going to be one play? Is it going to be a series of pitches? What's going to determine the difference in this game? The offering. Swung on line down the right field line for a base hit. Griman's going to advance to third. Foul comes up with a baseball. And the Reds have come up with their third hit here in the first 2 innings. And here comes a big hitter for Hirschfeld to retire in Matt Burkhardt, who drove in a run in the opening frame, as Eaton is looking to add to a 2-1 lead. The stretch and the pitch in the dirt with a breaking ball. Blocked beautifully by Peterson. He's a heck of a catcher. 1 ball and no strikes. With 2 down and 2 on in the second. Petey lays down the sign. And the offering. Curveball is up and in. This is getting a little bit dangerous here with Mondragon on deck because he's got home run power. And you don't want him up there with the bases loaded. Burkhardt can hit it out as well. 2-0. The stretch by Hirschfeld. And the delivery. A strike, took something off it on the inside corner. Ball 2, strike 1. The Bee Diggers have 1 hit. That's the Matos Garcia double he later scored in that first inning. Hirschfeld stretches. Hirschfeld comes home. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the letters. 2-2. But again, need that out pitch here to get Burkhardt and keep the Bee Diggers to within 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Hirschfeld stretches. Hirschfeld comes home. Swung on and popped up extremely high into shallow left field. Kyle Rosenbrock, the shortstop, calls for it, makes the catch. And done in the top of the second are the Eaton Reds. But they're back on the board as the Reds score a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. And the Reds, who stranded 17 in the first game, have left 4 on the bases over the first 2 innings in this Class 3A state championship game. Eaton 2, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2-1. Eaton leads Brush as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Nico Guzman, Zane Fow, and Brandon Walter against the left-handed pitcher Ryan Kaler. Keep in mind, win or lose for the Bee Diggers, they will be welcomed in tonight in Brush. I'm sure that's something the fire department is doing. Greg Maris just gave me this. Greg Maris with exit Hospital Road down to Edmonds to Colorado, right to Edison, back to Hospital Road to Sunset Park. That'll be the route tonight to welcome in the Brush Bee Digger baseball team, regardless of the outcome of this game. Stretch and pitch. And the fastball is up and away because they've had an incredible season. And they're not going to wait. They're going to do it tonight. Again, exit Hospital Road down to Edmonds to Colorado, right to Edison, back to Hospital Road to Sunset Park. That's the route to welcome in the Brush baseball team tonight after this game. The pitch. And that changeup is a strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike to the center fielder, Nico Guzman. Nico pitched very well in this tournament as well, and I don't know if he's available in this game later on if they need him. The stretch and the offering, squaring to bunt. Oh, and he pops it foul. That pitch was outside. He picked a pretty bad pitch to bunt at, and he just gave the left-hander a strike. Now he's in a hole. Nico was 0 for 1 in the opening game. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-1 Eaton, bottom of the second inning. And now Nico calls time. The first game lasted 2 hours and 26 minutes. And if this game lasts that long, we'll be here till at about 9 o'clock. The stretch, the pitch. Swung on, grounded right back to the mound. And Nico's retired as Kaler throws to first. There's 1 down. 1 down here in the bottom of the second inning. And that'll send up Zane Fow. Fow broke out of a little bit of a slump with a base hit in that first game against Eaton. Also had a hit yesterday. He was on base 4 times, but 2 of those were via the hit batsman and a walk. Out of the stretch with the bases empty is Kaler. Foul awaits the first pitch of this at bat. Here it is. Fastball rides inside underneath the elbows. 1 ball and no strikes. Your one-stop center for home improvement projects, Ackley Building Center, 1402 Mill Street in Brush. Flooring, paint, tools, appliances, and more. Ackley Building Center. The pitch. Swinging a foul up the right side. Mondragon, the first baseman, gives chase. It's out of play. And the count moves to 1-1. Exciting baseball continues. It's been tight throughout all 8.5 innings played so far. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with the bases empty. And now foul steps out. A lot of gamesmanship going on here. Kuhn lays down the sign. And foul waits the pitch. Here it is. Swinging a foul on the ground up the third base side towards the Digger dugout. Count moves to 1-2. The Reds have a base hit from Matt Burkhardt driving in a run and a Lane Griman sacrifice fly. For the B-Diggers, Baby Maltos Garcia scored on a wild pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And foul awaits. Swung on line to right field. That's a base hit on a fastball tailing away. And the B-Diggers have their second hit in as many innings. And Zane Fowl comes up with his 3rd hit in as many games. And that'll send up Aaron Williams. I had Brandon Walter. It'll be Aaron Williams. So let me make that adjustment. Williams had a base hit in the opening game. And he's now the first baseman. Yeah, I think Walter was in the original lineup, but once the changes were made, I've got Williams in there, and he swings and misses at a changeup. No balls and 1 strike to Aaron Williams. Off of first is foul, about a 2-step lead against the left-hander Kaler. He pauses, he pitches down and in fact, on the ground on that breaking ball. And the count levels at 1-1. Good job of Kuhn blocking that pitch. He's had a few get away today by really no fault of his own. A wild pitch is a wild pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Williams settling into the right-handed batter's box. Here's the offering. Fastball tails up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kaler has thrown 25 pitches through an inning and a third. Again, foul with a conservative lead at first. And the 2-1 offering swung on and fouled off to the right. Well out of play. It's 2-2. Look to the team at Aspen Rehabilitation inside Valley View Villa for your sports rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. At 815 Fremont, call them 867-8261. Valley View Villa. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Williams awaits. And the pitch. Changeup low. 3-2. The B-Diggers have faced 3 left-handers in the state tournament. Starting pitchers, Nick Kavakas of peak-to-peak, Brady Tedesco of Eaton, now Kaler. The offering. And that's a called strike 3, a changeup down the middle, and Williams knew it. 2 down. There's Mikey Gutierrez. Yeah, I think Williams thought that one was going to tail down like the previous pitch and out of the strike zone, but it did not. Mikey settles in. And the offering. And that fastball is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Gutierrez ahead in the count. Awaits the 1-0 pitch. And here it comes. Swing and a miss. Man, he pulled the string on that one. Mikey was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts in game 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a 1-run lead for Eaton in the bottom of the second inning with a man at first. And Gutierrez awaits the offering. And that fastball is a strike at the knees on the inside corner. B-Digger fans thought it was low. 1-2. Kaler looking back at first. And the offering. And that's in the dirt. Skips away and fouled a second of the wild pitch. So now runner in scoring position. Let's see if Mikey can drive him home. He's got to watch out for that all-speed stuff. That all-speed is exactly what these Reds try to throw to get the B-Digger hitters off balance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul takes about a 4-step lead. Burkhardt sneaking in behind him at short. And now Gutierrez calls time. Yeah, with the pace of this game, this one's headed for well over 2 hours. 2-1 in the early going. Kuhn running through the signs. The stretch by Kaler. And the offering. And that is a fastball called strike 3 on the inside corner. And the B-Diggers are done here in the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 2 complete in the 3A state championship game from Greeley. Eaton 2, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2-1 in favor of Eaton as we head to the top half of the third inning. And B.J. Hirschfeld out there about to face Joe Mondragon. Oh, now we got, let's see, we're fixing the I score here, which apparently has an issue. Now I've got it at 3-1 up there, but it is a 2-1 game, so we will get that all done. The wind in the pitch, it bounces in. 1 ball and no strikes to Mondragon. On the top half of the third inning. It's the left-handed hitting first baseman, the offering, and that fastball is a strike at the knees. One ball and 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on and grounded right side. Second baseman to his left. Nice play over there. The throw to first is in time. And, that's Rosenbrock at second. Okay. Rosenbrock is at second. And Matos Garcia at short. Well, that caught me a little bit by surprise. 1 down. Well, I guess they're saving Rosenbrock's arm in more ways than one. 1 down for Sean Carson, who's 0 for 1. He popped out. 2-1 Brush, the pitch. Swung on in line towards left center field. Guzman coming in, and he plays it on a hop. It's a base hit for Carson. That is hit number 4 for the Reds. On that line drive, and Carson now 1 for 2. That'll bring up Joe Kuhn. Kuhn hit into a fielder's choice. And the offering. Fastball. Outside. No balls and 1 strike. 1 ball and no strikes, excuse me. The stretch by Hirschfeld. And the offering. And the changeup is down and in. That moves the count to 2-0. And again, with Eaton stranding 17 runners in the opening game and 4 so far, you got to wonder if at some point they're going to come through and break the game open. The B-Diggers have dodged as many bullets as they can. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch and the curveball is high. 3-0, and Kuhn One pitch away from putting another runner out there with Dalton Lind on deck. Short lead for Carson. The offering. Fastball, a strike on the inside corner. Count moves to 3-1. Neither team has committed an error in the game. Through 2. And the offering. That's very high. Another walk. Dalton Lind doubled his first time up, and here comes trouble. It's amazing all the walks that were issued in game 1, and now Hirschfeld certainly getting into trouble in this game with the free passes. And looks like Jake Vondy's the courtesy runner at first for the catcher Kuhn. Yeah, how many times can you get away with a free pass? The stretch. Lind awaits the pitch, and he takes a changeup upstairs. Bead Digger pitchers have walked 12 today. Off of second is Carson. Vondy at first. The offering. Swung on and popped foul on the breaking ball and out of play. Count levels at 1-1. Yeah, just pound the strike zone, see what happens. That's all we'll take. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Hirschfeld steps off once again. The baseball team will be welcomed in tonight, regardless of the outcome of this game. Exit Hospital Road, down to Edmonds to Colorado, right to Edison, back to Hospital Road to Sunset Park. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the letters. It's 1-2. 2 on and 1 out, top of the third inning. In Greeley, Eaton leads Brush 2-1. Stretched by Hirschfeld. Looking back, and the pitch in the dirt with a changeup blocked again by Petey. And the reason Petey is so good with a block is because the knees go to the ground. Doesn't try to glove it. Tries to block it with his entire body. The stretch and the 2-2. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the letters, and Lind strikes out. There's 2 down. 2 down for Tedesco, who lined out to the right fielder Zane Fow in his first plate appearance. Eaton stranded 2 in the first inning, stranded 2 in the second, although they tallied a run in each of those frames. The stretch and the pitch and the changeup is in there for a strike on the outer half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies and G Sweets Bakery, your perfect combination. Open 6 days a week. Great stuff over there, 921 Edison Street in Brush. The offering. Line towards left center field. Long run for Nico Guzman to his right. Going back, and that ball is off the bottom of the fence. 1 run is in. The ball is loose in the outfield. Here comes the second run. Vondy about to score. It's a 2-run, 2-out double for Brady Tedesco. And the Reds lead 4-1 here in the top of the third inning. A pitch right out over the plate. And Tedesco took advantage. Nothing cheap about that one. And here's J.T. Mossberg. Again, you can beat Eaton once, but beating him twice in one day takes a monumental task. But the Bead Diggers were down by 3 runs in the first game and came back and won. But Eaton has scored in every frame in this game. Pitch. I don't know where that missed, but it looked like right there on the inner half. It's 1-0. Must have been a little bit high. The offering. Swung on and lifted into right center field. Nico Guzman to his left. Ranges under it and makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Reds in the third inning. However, they tack on to the lead with a couple of runs on 2 hits, including a big 2-run double by Brady Tedesco. No errors and a man left. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It is Eaton 4, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Eaton leads Brush 4-1. I said at the bottom of the third inning. It'll be Grayson Simmons, followed by B.J. Hirschfeld and Arnoldo Matos Garcia against the left-hander, Ryan Kaler. The stretch and the offering. Tails inside with a fastball. It's 1-0. This is the first plate appearance for Simmons in this game. Had his struggles in the opening game, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The pitch. And did he go around on that fastball up in the zone? And he did not. 2-0 to the G-Man. And when you're struggling like this, you want to probably take some pitches just to see if you get a free pass. It's not about batting average. It's about on-base percentage. Out of the stretch, 2-0. Swing and a foul. Well, that fastball was down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Grayson Simmons, 4-1. Eaton leads in the bottom of the third inning in his Class 3A state championship game from Greeley. And now Simmons calls time. This game could have very well ended with the sun completely disappearing, which has been out for the entire day. The offering. And that ball hit him in the back. It rode in on him. And the G-Man is at first base on the hit by pitch. B.J. Hirschfeld will now step in. Hirschfeld popped to right in his first plate appearance. And Simmons just walking it off. He took a pretty good shot there, but he's okay. Anything to get on base, and that's the first time Simmons has reached base today. Here is Hirschfeld. Again, 0 for 1 officially. The stretch by Kaler squaring to bunt in the pitch. And he misses the bunt. Throw back to first. Simmons back in diving. No balls and 1 strike. And that pitch was right down the middle. And still could not make contact with it. Again, I've reiterated several times, it's just something the Beat Diggers don't do well. But they do a lot of other phases extremely well, which is why they're here. The pitch and the changeup is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. This will be pitch number 40 coming up for Kaler. He's all over the place. 22 strikes, 17 balls, but he's got a 3-run advantage. Kuhn lays down the sign. And Hirschfeld awaits. Changeup is a strike at the knees. That was virtually in the same location as the previous pitch, but that was a strike. Maybe just a tad higher, and that's all Kaler needed to get the strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. Eaton with a 4-1 lead. Simmons a 2.5-step lead. The pitch. Swung on and lined on 1 hop to second. To second for 1. Back to first. And the ball skips by Mondragon. Hirschfeld is headed to second. Oh, it'll be a 4-6 and an error. Eaton's second error of the day. That was a tailor-made double play. Man, that ball looked like it got there on the fly. It was a little bit low. Give the air to Mondragon, although you could give it either way to him or Burkhardt. Nonetheless, Brush is a runner in scoring position for Arnoldo Matos Garcia. Baby doubled his first time up and scored Brush's only run. The pitch swung on and popped up down the right field side. Mondragon, the first baseman, has some room, and he made the catch. Tagging up is Hirschfeld. He'll get the third easily. And there's 2 down. That's a big out. And let's see if Rosenbrock is going to be walked here. Very possible that they would walk Rosenbrock to get to Peterson. Rosenbrock lined out his first time up. Let's see if that'll be the case. Oh, no, they're going to pitch to him, knowing that Peterson is the protection behind him. Stretch by Kaler. And the pitch to Rosenbrock. Fastball, tails away. 1 ball and no strikes. To Rosenbrock. Off of third is Hirschfeld with 2 outs. in the bottom of the third inning in Greeley. And the offering. Curveball is driven deep into left field. Down the line, if it's fair, it might be a home run. And it is just foul. Oh, he gave it a ride. The ball stayed in the park. And it's 1 strike, a little bit out in front of that hanging breaking ball. And the count is at 1-1. Let's see if that changes at least the pitch sequence that Jim Danley assigns to Rosenbrock, because that was a hanger. Off of third is Hirschfeld. Laying down the sign is Kuhn. Then the offering. Swing and a miss with a fastball right by him in the inside corner. 1-2 strikes. To Kyle Rosenbrock. The stretch by Kaler. 1-2. In the dirt with a changeup blocked by Kuhn. Count levels at 2 strikes. Now the B-Diggers need to capitalize here after that big 2-run double with 2 outs in the third by Brady Tedesco. Extended the lead for the Reds. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a changeup. Pulled the string and Rosenbrock struck out. And the B-Diggers are retired in the third inning without scoring a run. The B-Diggers strand a man as Eaton committed an error. We head to the fourth inning. It is Eaton 4, Brush 1. 10 KSLR and KSLR.com. Well, we have a new pitcher for the B-Diggers. It'll be Jaron Peterson, the sophomore. He's going to get a lot of time next year, the next couple of years, because he's got some good stuff. B.J. Hirschfeld is back to first. So Peterson making an appearance, throwing to his brother Alec Peterson. And again, the infield remains the same. Kyle Rosenbrock at second, not at short, with baby Matos Garcia at second base. Everything else, again, remains the same. And the B-Diggers trailing in the fourth inning by a score of 4-1. Eaton has scored in every inning, a run in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. B-Diggers scored their lone run in the first. And Jaron Peterson, who was the kicker for the B-Diggers, a very good kicker as a sophomore on the state championship team, being called upon for just as big a role here in the state title game against the Reds. A team that is 25-1 with that lone loss to Brush earlier today, 4-3. And the prevailing thought, as I alluded to earlier, was Brush can beat Eaton, but to do it twice in one day, that would be a monumental task, considering the last time they lost before today was in a state title game last year against Holy Family. So here we go as the fourth inning will ensue. When it comes to livestock feed, you can rely on Colorado Soy to help deal with the nutritional needs of your livestock. Visit coloradosoy.com. And if it's not hard enough for Jaron Peterson, he's got to contend with the top of the lineup in Lane Greiman, Ryan Kaler, and Matt Burkhart. 1, 2, and 3. B-Diggers down by 3. And again, that's a manageable situation based on what we saw already twice this year. During the regular season, Brush rallied from a 3-0 hole to tie the game and lost 6-4. And today rallied from a 3-0 deficit in an even bigger game and won 4-3. But it's got to stay right at around 3. Greiman has walked and hit a sacrifice fly, which gave Eaton a 2-1 lead in the second. The right-hander delivers. Fastball is a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Brush is using their third pitcher here in 4 innings. Peterson ready. 1-0. That's right there, down the middle for a strike. Took something off, and it's 1-1. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Reds, 1 run on 2 hits for the Bee Diggers. The only error committed by the Reds. The pitch and the breaking ball all the way to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the bugaboo for Brush in this game, those walks. 2-1 pitch. Fastball is high. 3-1. Rosenbrock in the first inning walked the batter, and that fastball's a strike at knee level. 3-2. Hirschfeld walked 2. So that's essentially when you combine all those hits and then you give 3 free passes. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and popped up into shallow center field. Nico Guzman comes in, still racing, makes the catch, and there's 1 down. Guzman makes the play. Nice job of Peterson coming back from that 3-1 count. Here's Ryan Kaler, who is grounded out and singled. 1 for 2 in the game. Now, Hirschfeld and Peterson will be a huge part of the pitching staff next year. Hirschfeld will be a senior, Peterson a junior. Kaler for the left side with an open stance. Awaits the pitch. Breaking ball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Ryan Kaler. And the offering. Fastball is at the knees on the outer half. It's 1-1. Our first game started at 3. Our second game began at about 6:15. And this is for the 3A state title. The pitch swung on line, foul down the first base side as the umpire goes to the ground. 1-2. Sometimes when you go to the ground and the ball's coming at you, you almost run into the ball. And the umpires have no protection out there on the bases. There's not a helmet they wear like a base coach in the majors. Well, even the coaches at the high school level, they're not wearing any helmets. They're strictly wearing their caps, so they got to be careful as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peterson ready. And the offering. Swung on line and caught by Mikey Gutierrez at third. 2 down as Mikey snags it out of the air. That'll bring up Matt Burkhardt. Burkhardt with an RBI single, and he popped up. 1 for 2 in the game. The wind by Peterson and the pitch. And the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Burkhardt made a couple of spectacular plays defensively from short in that first game. 1-0. Curveball is lined foul off the end of the bat on the right side. Count levels at 1-1, and Peterson will keep going if he continues to pitch like he has to the first 2 hitters. The leash is short. Let's put it that way. B.J. Hirschfeld had decent stuff, but certainly not good enough to stay in the game, allowing 3 runs in 2 innings. That's why Peterson is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, and the bases empty in the 4th. And the offering. Curveball is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Burkhardt. Petey setting up towards the outside. And the pitch. Curveball is off the glove of Peterson. 3-1. And for the first time, the sun has completely disappeared. And I think the umpire wants another baseball. Or more baseballs. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here to Matt Burkhardt. Your family's safety is the main concern at Smart Parts, so let the trained pros take care of you when you need a windshield repaired. Smart Parts, fastball, a strike. On the outer portion at the knees, it's 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Peterson can retire Burkhardt. The pitch swung on and fouled on the breaking ball to the backstop. It's 3-2 again. The Beat Diggers will have Alec Peterson to lead off the bottom of the fourth inning. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted into right field. Coming in is Zane Fowl. Going out is Rosenbrock. Rosenbrock makes the catch right in front of Fowl, who did not call Rosenbrock off. 1-2-3 for Jaron Peterson in the top of the fourth inning. We head to the bottom of the fourth after the break. It is Eaton 4, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Let's head to the bottom of the fourth inning. The Beat Diggers trail the Eaton Reds by a score of 4-1. It'll be Alec Peterson, Nico Guzman, and Zane Fowl against the left-hander Ryan Kaler, who's thrown 47 pitches. Been effective. He said the Beat Diggers off balance. Stretch and pitch. Down and away with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. Kaler in the early going has struck out 3 and issued no walks. Petey popped out in his first plate appearance. And the offering. That tails away as well, 2-0. Beat Diggers had a threat in the third and did not score with Hirschfeld stranded over there. An uncharacteristic strikeout by Rosenbrock. 2-0 pitch. And that is low as well. One with a fastball. It's 3-0. Well, just as I said, Kaler hasn't walked a hitter. He's in danger of doing it now. Petey should be taking on the 3-0 and does for a strike on the outside corner. Grooved in a fastball. It's 3-1. Lights are still not on here. It's not dark enough. 3-1 pitch. Way outside to the screen, in fact. And Peterson walks to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. And that will send up Nico Guzman, who grounded out to the mound. Something he needs to avoid right now, considering that could start a 1-6-3 double play. I don't know if the Beat Diggers will play small ball here. They have failed to put a bunt down when they've tried to. Nico almost looks like he's going to square a little bit. Oh, he's looking to square the pitch, and he swings and misses at a pitch down and in. No balls and 1 strike. Nico looks a little bit over anxious at the plate. He bunted at a bad pitch earlier, swung at a bad pitch there. No balls, 1 strike. Peterson with a 3-step advantage at first. And the throw to first. Peterson headed to second. The throw sails into left center field. Backed up by Carson. It'll be a straight-up steal for Alec Peterson. Straight-up steal. Had he advanced to third, that would have been a steal and an error. But now in scoring position is Peterson. Mondragon threw a seat over there, but for some reason wasn't fielded by Burkhardt. I think he tried to apply the tag. The stretch. And Guzman awaits the pitch. And he swings and pops it foul on the breaking ball. It's 0-2. Followed by Foul and Aaron Williams. No balls, 2 strikes. Peterson at second. Nobody out of the bottom of the fourth inning. Eaton leads Brush 4-1 in the 3A state championship game. The left-hander Kaler steps off the mound. And we'll do it again. Digging back in is Guzman. Long pause and the offering. Swung on and lifted into deep left field. Carson, though, is going to have room, and he makes the catch. The ball didn't carry as much as I thought. Must have hit it off the end of the bat. And 1 down, and staying at second is Peterson. A little bit out in front. And Zane Fowl, who singled to right his first time up as the hitter. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car truck of your choice, serving all of Northeast Colorado. That is Ehrlich Toyota East. Foul digs in the stretch and the offering. That's a strike with a tailing changeup. Right over the inner portion, it's 0-1. And all these Eaton pitchers, they like to throw all speed stuff, and that's the key to their success. The fact they allowed 4 runs in the opening game, that's a ton against this team. The offering and the slow curve is a little bit high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Zane Fow, who has a base hit in each of his last 3 games. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Kuhn lays down the sign. Here comes the pitch. Changeup is low. Ball 2, strike 1. Again, as we mentioned in the first game, the Beat Diggers for the second straight game are the designated home team. So that gives you a little bit of an advantage knowing you've got final ups. As long as the game is close, the pitch swung on and lifted extremely high into center. Going back is Tedesco. He has room shy of the track, makes the catch. Peterson tags, strong throw to third. A little bit high, the tag, safe is Peterson at third. That was a great throw by Tedesco, maybe just a tad high. Peterson did get in there, though. And with 2 down, the hitter will be Aaron Williams, who struck out. Oh, check that. That's right, he's out of the game now. Jaron Peterson will now hit. And Jaron has very few at-bats this season. But right now he's the pitcher. He's going to have a lot of at-bats next season, I'll tell you that. And in his senior year. With an open stance, that left foot well off the plate. The pitch, fastball, tails away. 1 ball and no strikes. Speed at third, speed inside the batter's box. Kuhn lays down the sign. Long pause and the 1-0. That is a little bit low on the off speed. 2 balls and no strikes. Brush had a man at third and 2 down in the third, didn't score. Same situation in the bottom of the 4th inning. Peterson awaits the 2-0. Here it is. In the dirt with a changeup, 3-0. And Alec Peterson at third has scored on a couple of wild pitches earlier today, looking for the same thing. And that ball gets just about a couple of feet away. He's going to take off. He gets great jumps on those baseballs. 3-0 with Mikey G on deck. The pitch right down the middle for a strike as Kaler, who has thrown 63 pitches, grooved in a fastball. Peterson digs in. The 3-1 offering, and that's inside on a fastball. Second walk issued in the inning by Ryan Kaler. The tying run is at the plate, and Mikey Gutierrez. Gutierrez struck out looking in his first plate appearance. Huge situation here for the senior. Runners at the corners and the offering. And that tails in there for a strike. A little bit of cut to that pitch. No balls and 1 strike on Gutierrez. Gutierrez loves to pull the ball. If he can get a pitch on the inner half. Runner goes, and that's down and in, and no throw. Peterson to second, so Alec Peterson at third, Jaron to second. A base hit could draw the Beat Diggers to within 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, and 2 in scoring position. Eaton leads in the bottom of the 4th inning, 4-1. Kuhn relays the sign. The stretch. Mikey G awaits the pitch, and he takes a fastball low. 2-1. Every pitch is oh so big, especially when you're down in the game. Big gap between short and third with a shortstop Burkhart cheating towards the hole. Now he readjusts the offering. Fastball is high. 3-1. And Grayson Simmons on deck was hit by a pitch his first time up. The Beat Diggers have stranded 3 through the first 3 innings. They could have 3 on base right now. Gutierrez awaits the 3-1. Swung on and grounded on a big hop to third. Lane Greiman has it, throws to first, and that's the end of the inning. The Beat Diggers threaten, but do not score. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Brush is stranded 5 through 4 innings. As we head to the 5th, it is Eaton 4, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 3 innings remain in the state championship game out of Class 3A from Butch Butler Field in Greeley. We're in the 5th. The Eaton Reds have a 4-1 lead. They were held off the scoreboard for the first time in the 4th as Jaron Peterson, Brush's third pitcher, engineered a 1-2-3 frame. And now he's got to deal with Joe Mondragon, Sean Carson, and Joe Kuhn. And Mondragon today does not have a hit. Been on base a couple of times via a walk and a hit by pitch between games 1 and 2. And to keep him out of the hit column is virtually impossible. He's playing at the next level. I know he's got a number of smaller schools looking at him. So he will lead off for the Reds here on this Wednesday evening as Peterson is about to complete his warm-ups. Better quality, better service, better results. It's Better Electric, also the home of Sterling Trailers. Your Big Tex headquarters, that's Better Electric. Again, you get a pitch-by-pitch account of this game. Go to KSIRsports.com, click on Faster Connections, and then the link to today's game. Or, of course, even the previous game, a thriller won by the Beat Diggers 4-3. That's why we're still here in Greeley with this 3A state championship game. Eaton is going for their 11th title, the Beat Diggers for their 2nd. And the Reds just have an unbelievable resume. Eaton has made 23 Final Four appearances in a row. They've been in the title game 19 of the last 23 years. And this is not one of the top programs only in Colorado, but in the nation. And the Beat Diggers are right there with the Reds, trailing by 3 after handing them their first loss earlier today. The pitch to Mondragon, and the breaking ball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. As is the case against all good teams, stay close. Swung on and foul to the backstop on a fastball in the outer half. That's what the Beat Diggers did in Game 1, and so far it's competitive in Game 2. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the wind and pitch. Curveball is up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Our next sporting event after today at the high school level on 1010 and KSIR.com will not be until September. Brush Beat Digger football. The offering. Swung on and fouled straight back. Yeah, this state tournament seems like it's gone on forever. But this is Brush's 6th game, and you got to love this double elimination format. Other sports are obviously single elimination. Baseball is not. They've got to do it at the 2A and Class A levels because they don't have the pitching. The sample size is smaller. The pool they have to choose from is smaller. Swung on line. That's a base hit. Joe Mondragon has led off to 5th with a base knock into right field on a breaking ball. And the Reds have picked up their 6th hit of the game. The Beat Diggers have only had 2 hits. Sean Carson is now the hitter. He is a double play candidate. Carson popped out and singled. He is 1 for 2. Got to get him to hit the ball on the ground. The stretch by Peterson and the pitch. Breaking ball is up and in. And Alec Peterson will pay a visit to his younger brother, 2 years younger. 1 ball and no strikes. The Beat Diggers have battled in virtually every inning defensively and on the mound. The lone exception was the 4th by Peterson. Here is pitching coach Arturo Maltos Garcia. Beat Diggers want to extend the game as much as possible. It's a little bit different, of course, when you're not doing it by time but by outs. Keep in mind, win or lose tonight, the Beat Digger baseball team will be welcomed into Brush. Exit Hospital Road, down to Edmonds, to Colorado, right to Edison, back to Hospital Road to Sunset Park. That'll be the route tonight. All that has been done very well over the years by the Brush Fire Department. Man, those guys are great. It's a volunteer fire department, and they do incredible work, including my good buddy, the public address announcer, Paul Acosta. Here we go. 1 ball, no strikes. The bases. A throw back to first, and the ball was into the runner. Luckily, if not, that would have been an error on Peterson. I was going to say the bases are empty, but Mondragon is over there. And Mondragon's got speed. That's why I got to get Carson to hit the ball on the ground and hit into a double play. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on and popped up on the right side into foul territory. Hirschfeld goes over, makes the grab, and there's one down just outside that first base line. Well, an out will suffice. One down for Joe Kuhn. Hit into a 6'4" fielder's choice and walked. Another right-handed hitter for the Reds. The lights are on here in Greeley. The stretch and the pitch. And the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Mondragon with a 2-step lead. He might be taking off sometime soon. The pitch. Fastball on the outside corner. Belt high, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. B&J Plumbing can handle all your plumbing needs. The pitch. Breaking ball is tapped foul up the third base side from clogged drains to a major construction project. B&J Plumbing 522 38-28. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the money pitch has got to come here from Peterson. The offering to Kuhn. Swung on and popped foul. Peterson gives chase, but it's over the fence and out of play. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are in the top of the 5th inning, and the Reds hold a 3-run lead after scoring 2 in the first. Check that: 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Mondragon again with now a short lead at first. Joe Kuhn awaits the 1-2. Curveball, called strike 3 on the outer half at the knees. And Peterson is pitching some money baseball. There's 2 down. Dalton Lind also struck out, but he doubled his first time up. Mondragon led off the inning with a single. Now he's over there with 2 down. And the pitch to Lind. Breaking ball is a strike. Man, that is nasty stuff thrown by Peterson. The only thing Lind could have done with that is go the other way. No balls and 1 strike. The sophomore Peterson delivers. And, boy, it looked like he leaned into that. The ball got him on maybe the left elbow. Well, either way, granted first base on the hit batsman. That's the risk with a sharp breaking ball. If it doesn't break, it usually comes close to the hitter or makes contact. And watch out, because Brady Tedesco's got a 2-run double in the game. Is at the plate. He can break it wide open here. If he hits one similar, it's trouble for Brush. The pitch. And that one all the way to the screen on the pitch in the dirt. The runners advance. Mondragon to third. And into second is Lind. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, this, not necessarily the game, but if the Reds can get out to a 5-run lead, the Beat Diggers are going to have to string together a huge rally, which is very tough against this team. Peterson out of the windup, looking for the out to keep this at a 4-1 contest. The pitch outside, 2-0. Now you wonder if they're going to pitch around Tedesco because Mossberg is on deck, and Mossberg has done nothing today. 2-0 offering. Swung on, grounded up the middle. The shortstop, Matos Garcia, cannot get to it. It's a base hit. Mondragon scores. Lind around third. He will score. Tedesco has 4 RBIs in the game. He's got a 2-run single. And in the fifth inning, Eaton leads Brush 6-1, and that's a killer right there. A total killer. And here's Mossberg, who's 0 for 1. He was 0 for 3 in the opening game with 3 strikeouts. And the Bee Diggers are now going to have to chip away when they get back into that dugout. And one of the thoughts going into this game, Brush obviously wants to win the game, but they're kind of playing with house money considering that they just knocked off an undefeated team. The pitch, breaking ball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. And again, 2 out hitting. Man, Eaton has hurt Brush with those 2 out hits. Mossberg awaits the 1-0. Runner bluffs, and it's down and away. Eaton has scored in 4 of the first 5 innings. 2 balls and no strikes. Again, if you get a chance, welcome in this Bee Digger team. They'll be welcomed in regardless of the result of this game. And the offering. Fastball inside. Looked like got the corner. I think the fact that Mossberg backed off fooled the umpire. So that got the corner, but it was called a ball, 3-0. Stretch by Peterson. 3-0 pitch. That's right there for a strike. Had an 0-1 count to Dalton Lind and hit him with a curveball. That got things, and then the wild pitch, and then the 2-run single, just a myriad, a domino effect. And that's what happens in baseball. One negative thing happens, it leads to another, to another. For Eaton, those would be positive things, but they didn't have to do much. 3 balls and 1 strike, the offering. Fastball rides inside, it's a walk. First and second for Lane Griman. He's walked, hit a sac fly, and popped out. Griman is 0 for 1. Yeah, this cannot get totally out of hand. You can't have it 8-1 or 9-1. You can forget about it. And Griman has home run power. He nearly hit one out in the 4-3 Eaton loss and homered against Rosenbrock in the 6-4 win last month in Brush. So he's not a big guy, but he can crank it. Jaron Peterson comes home. Curveball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, you don't have much pitching left. You have Baby Maltos Garcia who can come in. Ryan Fergus as well, 1-0. Fastball, a strike. At second is Tedesco. Mossberg at first. The stretch. And the offering. Curveball is grounded foul up the third base side. Count is at 1-2. Now let's see if Peterson can unleash one of those sweeping breaking balls. The problem is he's thrown it so sharply that a couple of them have got away from him. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on and 2 in. Griman awaits the pitch. Here it comes. Swung on, grounded left side. The shortstop, Maltos Garcia, fields it in the hole. He'll have no play. It went off his glove, but no play. That'll be a base hit. In the hole for Lane Griman. Yeah, that was going to be a tough chance. And the bases are loaded for Ryan Kaler. He's grounded out, singled, and lined out. And this will definitely be the game if Kaler gets on. Bee Diggers are a resilient team, but if you fall behind by 7 or 8, it's going to be virtually impossible. The wind and pitch. Breaking ball is a little bit up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 6-1 Eaton in the top of the 5th inning. Mondragon singled. 2 were retired. And then a mess after that for Brush. The pitch. Fastball's a strike over the inside half. Belt high. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, you can get excited in that dugout. You come back in, it's a 5-run deficit. You know you can rally there. The pitch. And the breaking ball is on the outside corner. It's strike 2. 1-2 to a very good hitter in Ryan Kaler, hitting from the left side against Peterson. The wind, the pitch, swung on and grounded down the third base side, foul. Eaton has not stranded the number of runners they did in the first game. They've capitalized pretty well. First game, they scored 3 runs and stranded 17. This game, they've scored 6 times and stranded 5. Here is the wind. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball is outside. 2-2. This will be the 49th pitch for the sophomore Jaron Peterson. Runners take their leads out of the windup. And the offering. And that ball hit him. Holy mahungus. Kaler is hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. And scoring is Tedesco. It is now 7-1 Eaton. And here comes Kevin Fergus. That's got to be it for Peterson, you'd think. Yeah, he just fell apart there. I think that's going to be it for him. Well, let's see. I mean, it depends upon the options that Coach Fergus has left, which are extremely limited at this point. And I think we're going to, I think we'll have Fergus maybe come in, Ryan Fergus into the game, and here he comes. Let's take a 1-minute break. We're in the top of the 5th inning. The Beat Diggers are trying to stay close, but they trail Eaton 7-1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Ryan Fergus is Brush's 4th pitcher. Fergus has a save in the state tournament. Almost had another one yesterday, but the game was extended a little bit before Kyle Rosenbrock picked up the save. 7-1 in the top of the 5th inning. Jaron Peterson battled, couldn't get that last out, and sometimes that third out is the toughest to get, but he certainly did battle. Got to be proud of these Beat Diggers for getting this far. This was a regular season for Brush in which they lost 5 games, which is no shame there. They lost to some good teams. And then 1 game to Eaton, 2-0 earlier in the state tournament, but you get to a point where how much pitching do you have left? Rosenbrock threw an inning, allowed a run. B.J. Hirschfeld threw 2 innings, allowed 3 runs. Jaron Peterson has thrown an inning and 2/3 and allowed 3 runs. So here we are. The bases are loaded, 7-1. And Matt Burkhardt is now the hitter. Burkhardt has singled in a run and popped out twice. J.T. Mossberg's at third, Lane Greiman at second, Ryan Kaler at first. The pitch. And that fastball's in there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Brush still has a fantastic offense. And all they have to do is inch a little bit closer to the pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. Matos Garcia at short, has got it, fires to second. Out for the force. That was a close play. And Baby made an outstanding play. A bang-bang play at second as Kaler is eliminated. That was a great play by Matos Garcia. In fact, if he didn't make it, that would have simply been a base hit. However, the Reds were able to tally 3 runs in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and the bases were left loaded. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning in the 3A state championship game from Butch Butler Field in Greeley. It is Eaton 7, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2.5 innings of baseball left, unless the Beat Diggers can muster a major rally and send it into extras. But first things first, we send up Grayson Simmons, B.J. Hirschfeld, and Arnoldo Matos Garcia in the bottom of the 5th inning. Eaton 7, Brush 1. And the left-hander Ryan Kaler begins another inning of work out of the stretch. And the offering. Swung on in line towards center field, but right there is Tedesco to make the catch. And the G-man is 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. Solid contact, but it's an out. There's B.J. Hirschfeld, who's popped out and grounded into a fielder's choice. Yeah, it's hard when you're on the losing end of these things and you watch the other team celebrate. That's why the Bee Diggers are fighting hard to do what they can as that changeup is low and prevent that from happening. But teams like this don't blow 6-run leads. It would take a monumental effort. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch swung on and popped foul and out of play on the off-speed pitch. It's 1-1. Novus Auto Glass, repair and replacement. Novus gets you back on the road. One ball and one strike with one down. Hirschfeld from the right side awaits the offering, and the changeup bounces in. 2-1. To B.J. Hirschfeld. He'll be back next season. And more than likely, he'll be the ace of this team. Kaler gets the sign from Kuhn. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. That is popped up down the right field line. The first baseman, Mondragon, in fair territory, makes the catch. 2 down. 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning for baby Maltos Garcia, who doubled and scored and then popped to Mondragon. Officially at 1 for 2. And Kaler is getting on a little bit of a roll now, finding his rhythm in the middle innings. The pitch, and that's a fastball for a strike. Took something off it actually in the inner half. It's 0-1. 7 runs on 7 hits for Eaton. 1 on 2 for the Bee Diggers. The stretch, and now Baby steps out of the box. Now settles back in. And the offering. And he takes a breaking ball and swings and grounds it up the middle for a base hit. Into center field. Hit number 3 for the Bee Diggers. And that'll send up Kyle Rosenbrock, who lined out and struck out. That's the problem, though. You get up to the plate with the heart of the order with 2 down. And now everybody's got to reach, including Petey on deck and Nico Guzman behind him. Rosenbrock struck out on a changeup the second time up. And he swings and sends a fly ball to left field. That's going to stay in the park. Tedesco to his right in the gap makes the two-handed catch. And that does it for the Bee Diggers in the 5th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man stranded at first base. We have played 5 innings in the 2015 Colorado Class 3A championship game. It is Eaton 7, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. Ryan Fergus will work to Joe Mondragon, Sean Carson, and Joe Kuhn to begin the 6th. That was the order to begin the 5th. Mondragon got a hit. The next 2 were retired, and then trouble began as Jaron Peterson could not get that 3rd out, and a 4-1 game became a 7-1 game. Well, the good thing is that Brush is getting a lot of experience on the mound from its underclassmen. That's going to help them a lot. They've had 3 underclassmen pitch in this game, in the junior Hirschfeld, the sophomore Peterson, and the sophomore Fergus. Mondragon in the game is sitting at 1 for 2. Hit by a pitch, grounded out, singled, and scored in the 3-run 5th inning. As the Reds are counting down the outs, only 6 to go to win the 3A title. But the Bee Diggers made them sweat. The pitch. Breaking ball's a strike, and this game is still not over. Brush will not concede this thing just because the Reds have a lead of a half a dozen. The wind in the 0-1, and the changeup is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, we'll take the summer off and then be back with you for Bee Digger football in early September. The pitch. Of course, this is your home now of the defending state champions. 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. 2 balls and 1 strike. The wind and pitch. Swinging a foul to the screen. on a pitch up in the zone, 2-2. Yeah, the emotions were high before today, knowing that this senior class, I was talking to head coach Larry Mills before the game, breaking ball foul back. The former head coach of the football team that took the Beat Diggers to 10 state championship games and 4 titles. And I said to him, this has got to be a top 5 senior class. He said, oh, yeah, no doubt. This 2015 senior class, top 5 of all time. Breaking ball is high. And the count moves to 3-2 on Joe Mondragon. Don't know where they rank in the top 5, but definitely a top 5. Here's the wind in the 3-2. Swung on and lifted foul, not a play off to the left. On the off speed, it remains at 3-2. But the seniors can't do it by themselves. You need some underclassmen. We've had those sophomores and juniors step up as well. The wind by Fergus, 3-2. Oh, up and away, not even close. And it's a walk. That's been the other issue for Brush. Even in victory earlier today, the walks were plentiful. 9 overall by Rosenbrock. A couple were intentional, but even 7 is way too much. And this is the 4th walk unofficially. The pitch. And the breaking ball's in there for a strike. Let's see, I might have to recalculate this. When you do things electronically, the numbers get updated a little bit differently. Carson awaits the 0-1 the pitch. Swung on in line towards left field. Coming on is Simmons in the gap to his left. Makes the running catch. And back to first is Mondragon. And there is one down. Yeah, that was walk number 5 issued by Beat Digger pitching. And Sean Carson is now 1 for 4. Here is Joe Kuhn. Kuhn is 0 for 2, a fielder's choice and a walk, and he struck out looking. Fergus, the sophomore, delivers, and do we have a balk? Yep. Fergus did not come to a stop. The balk was called immediately. And now the double play possibility is eliminated unless it's a line drive at somebody. Still plenty of light here, but the lights are on. So essentially, even though Carson failed to advance Mondragon, it happened automatically. And the breaking ball is a beauty for a strike on the outer half, just above thigh level. It's 0-1. To Joe Kuhn. Stretched by Fergus. And the pitch. Breaking ball is a beauty down the middle. Knee high. It's 0-2. With Dalton Lind on deck. 1 out, 1 on in the top of the 6th inning. Eaton leads Brush 7-1 in the Class 3A title game. Fastball is down and away from the right-hander. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Peterson sets up on the outside. The pitch. Breaking ball fouled straight back on a ball that tied up the right-handed hitting Eaton catcher. And the count remains at 1-2. Here to Joe Kuhn. Just past 8 o'clock in the Mountain Time Zone. Breaking ball in the dirt. Of course, we do have online listeners outside the Mountain Time Zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch by Fergus. Let's see if he can retire Kuhn. Swing and a miss. On the off-speed pitch down at the knees. 2 down. And that'll send up Dalton Lind, who has doubled, struck out, and was hit by a pitch. The hitter that's destroyed Brush tonight is on deck. Brady Tedesco. He's got a 2-run double and a 2-run single. The pitch. Breaking ball is a beauty for a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. Yeah, the Reds fans are thinking that's going to be impossible for Brush to rally. Let's see what the Beat Diggers have in the tank. And I say that because of that incredible pitching staff they have. The offering. Breaking ball is in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike. but they also know baseball's a funny game, and anything can happen. We saw that in Game 1. Came down to the final pitch. If Sean Carson doesn't swing at the first 3-2, it would have been tied at 4 because the pitch was out of the zone. Breaking ball, I guess, is a little bit down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mondragon off of second. The Reds have scored in 4 of the first 5 innings. The pitch, and that bounces in, blocked by Peterson. 3-1. And this is what happened to Jaron Peterson. Trouble getting that third out, and it looks like if Fergus doesn't retire Lind, they're going to have to pitch to Tedesco, and you might have to pitch around him. 3 balls and 1 strike, the offering, and that is a fastball for a strike at the knees down the middle. 3-2. The stretch by Fergus. And the pitch swung on and popped up into shallow right center field. The second baseman Rosenbrock backpedals, makes the grab. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. 5.5 complete. The half inning is over in the 3A championship game. It's Eaton 7, Brush 1 on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. It'll be Alec Peterson to begin the bottom of the 6th for the Bee Diggers, trailing the Eaton Reds by a score of 7-1, followed by Nico Guzman. And then Zane Fowl. Brush has 3 hits in the game. They were 1 hit in that 2-0 loss earlier in the tournament in a winner's bracket game. Pitch for the left-hander Kaler is a breaking ball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And the reality of knowing that for Petey, this could be the final at-bat of his career. The offering. Changeup is down and in. For the Bee Diggers to have a shot, Peterson's going to need another at-bat after this one. 2 balls and no strikes. Kaler gets the sign. This will be pitch number 80 for the left-hander. Here it is. Swinging a foul straight back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kaler has been in control. Allowed a run in the first inning, but zeros each of the next 4. The 2-1 to Peterson. Fastball down the middle for a strike just above knee level. Only 3 strikeouts for Kaler. But it's not about striking out opposing hitters. It's simply about getting them out. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Oh, man, that was a lethal pitch thrown to Peterson. Wow. Talk about pulling the string. That thing was a yo-yo. And there's 1 down. There's Nico Guzman. That was a gorgeous pitch. Guzman has grounded out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. And Kaler comes home. Swing and a miss. He threw the fastball right by the Bee Digger center fielder. No balls and 1 strike. Guzman has been destroying the baseball all season today, not at 100% physically. But give him credit. He could have stayed out the whole time, and that breaking ball drops right in 0-2. Yeah, Guzman, Peterson, Rosenbrock, Gutierrez. Man, those are 4 incredible athletes. And they have had stellar senior seasons. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, not to mention the junior Hirschfeld, another great athlete in Matos Garcia, seniors Zane Fowl, Brandon Walter, a first-year starter, hitting the ball well throughout the course of the year. The pitch, and that breaking ball tails away. The G-man Grayson Simmons, who was a starter as a sophomore at the state tournament. And he was leading the team in RBIs for a while. He's another senior. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch to Guzman. Called strike 3 on a ball tailing away. took something off it, and there's 2 down. Strikeout number 5 for Kaler, and he's getting better. He's just getting better. Here's Zane foul. Singled and popped out, and Nico knew it as soon as the pitch was thrown. I think he was anticipating the changeup. Diving out of the strike zone, and it stayed right there at knee level. And Nico visibly frustrated, but man, what an incredible senior season he's had in 3 sports. The stretch and the pitch. Fastball is a strike on the inside corner. Belt high. It's 0-1. Eaton with a 7-1 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. Kaler looks in. And Kaler delivers. Curveball drops in, but a little bit low. Count is level at 1-1. Stop, shop, and save at the Brush Grocery Cart, 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Brush Grocery Cart. Fouled. Let me say that again. Brush Grocery Cart. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 down and the base is empty. And Ryan Kaler has completely neutralized this Brush lineup. A 3-hitter through 5 2/3. Now he steps out, or at least foul does. That, by the way, was pitch number 90 for Kaler. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The offering. Swinging a drive down the left field line. That's going to drop if it's fair, and it is just inside the left field line. Carson gets to it. A long, long turn there by foul, but he is going to be held to a single, and the Bee Diggers pick up their 4th hit. And foul is now 2 for 3. He's got half of the Bee Digger hits. That'll bring up Jaron Peterson, unless we have a pinch hitter. Let's see if, well, yeah, we'll have a pinch hitter because Peterson is no longer in the game. And a great gesture here by head coach Kevin Fergus, throwing Rene Cardenas in. Rene is a senior. He's had a couple of at-bats, I think just 1 or 2 in the state tournament. So he will step in from the right side against the left-hander Kaler. He was 0 for 1 in the game against Valley. That's his lone at-bat of the entire tournament. This will be number 2. The stretch. And the offering. Changeup is low. He's got a nice approach at the plate. He just doesn't get any playing time because there's so much talent in front of him. If he played for another school, he'd probably get more playing time, but he's a Bee Digger. Through and through, the pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Rene Cardenas ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Also known as Cardenas. Off of first is foul with 2 down. Kaler at the belt. And the 2-0. And that changeup is low. 3-0. And Mikey Gutierrez is on deck. 3 balls and no strikes to Rene. He'll be taking. And he does. It's a fastball for a strike on the inner half. 3 balls and 1 strike. The game is at an even 2 hours. The first game went 2:26. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss late on that fastball. It's 3-2. Here to Rene Cardenas. Zane Fowl will be taking off with a pitch with 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-2. Swing and a miss and a fastball. And Ryan Kaler strikes out the side in the bottom of the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases were left empty. 1 inning to go in Greeley. In the Class 3A state championship game, it is Eaton 7, Brush 1. This is Brush Bee Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Bee Diggers go to their 5th pitcher of the game, and that is Arnoldo Maltos Garcia, the junior. And this marks the 4th consecutive underclassman, which is why this is great experience. It's just smart by head coach Kevin Fergus to get him out there. His 2nd state tournament appearance. He also pitched against Valley in that 15-11 victory. This game has belonged to 2 players, Ryan Kaler, the Eaton left-hander, and the left-handed hitting Brady Tedesco has driven in 4 runs in the game. Beedinger pitchers today, here in this game, have thrown 130 pitches. Kyle Rosenbrock threw 158 in the first game, 19 in the first inning in this game. Brush has struck out 3 Eaton hitters and walked 5. That's been one of the issues. But their defense has been very good today. Brush has also hit 3 batters in this game. So that's essentially 8 free passes. So here's Tedesco. At least he's hitting with the bases empty. 7-1, Eaton in the top of the 7th. The final inning for this outstanding senior crop at Brush High School. And, of course, some very good Eaton Reds as well, looking for the 11th title in school history. Wine in the pitch. Swung on in line towards center field. Guzman is going back towards the track, leaps and makes the catch. And there's one down. As Nico makes the play to retire Tedesco. JT Mossberg is 0 for 4 today with 3 walks. In this game, he's 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Matos Garcia delivers. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Began with Rosenbrock, then with Hirschfeld, Peterson, Fergus, and now Baby. Swung on, grounded up the middle. Rosenbrock dives. It's a base hit into center field. And Mossberg picks up his first hit of the day. And for the Reds, that's their 9th. Lane Greiman is 1 for 2. This is his 5th plate appearance. He's walked, delivered a sac fly, which gave Eaton the lead for good. That made it 2-1. And they have not given up the lead since then. It's also popped out and singled. The stretch by Matos Garcia. And the pitch. Ooh, terrible pitch all the way to the screen. That was about 2 feet outside. Baby just must have slipped. Trying to locate, and Peterson would have needed a second body just to get to it. 1 ball and no strikes. So Mossberg now at second. Eaton looking to build on the 7-1 advantage. And the offering. Down and away. 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. When you're shopping for new appliances, shop the best appliance store in Fort Morgan, B&B Appliance, with a full and complete line of Whirlpool appliances. Swung on in line towards left center field. That's going to drop for, no, is it caught? Oh, I thought that was going to drop. Guzman made the catch. I called that prematurely. 2 down. And actually in the right center field gap, so I misjudged that from all angles. 2 down. And here's Ryan Kaler. And Guzman has recorded 2 putouts in the inning. Yeah, Nico was playing pretty deep, but yet he was able to close the gap and make the catch on Greiman. The pitch. Changeup is down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. B&B Appliance, of course, in downtown Fort Morgan. At second is Mossberg with 2 down in the 7th inning. Petey lays down the sign. And Kaler steps out. There'll be the presentation of the trophies after this game. And the offering. And the breaking ball is right there on the outer half for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. To the left-handed hitting Ryan Kaler. Grounded out, singled, lined out, and was hit by a pitch. And he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. And that chased Jaron Peterson out of the game. And the offering swung on in line and caught by the shortstop Rosenbrock in shallow left center field. Nice job by baby Maltos Garcia. Last chance for the Bead Diggers as the Reds get a base hit in strand one. We head to the bottom of the seventh inning in the 3A state championship game. It is Eaton 7, Brush 1. You're listening to Brush Bead Digger Baseball on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. It'll be 8-9-1 for Brush as Ryan Kaler attempts to go the distance in the 3A state championship game. He's thrown 97 pitches. It'll be Mikey Gutierrez, Grayson Simmons, and B.J. Hirschfeld as nightfall has descended here in Greeley. A strikeout and a ground out for Gutierrez, and that ground out came with second and third and 2 down 3 innings ago. But he put together a nice at bat, just couldn't get it over the third baseman. And the changeup is a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. This is so tough knowing you're about to witness the opposing team celebrate. It's very difficult, especially knowing that you're 1 game away. Swung on in line into left field for a base hit. But again, the Bead Diggers are not done, and Mikey G gets the hit. Here's Grayson Simmons, hit by a pitch and lined out. The Bead Diggers have had some huge innings this year. Can they somehow do it here against Eaton? This would be the comeback of all comebacks. The stretch. And the offering. And that changeup is low. Hit by a pitch and lined out, and Jim Danley will pull the plug here immediately. He'll get Lane Griman into the game to close it if Kaler struggles in the 7th. 1-0. Swung on line for a base hit into center field. Mikey Gutierrez to second. And the G-Man has a base hit. Now let's see what Coach Danley is going to do as B.J. Hirschfeld steps in. All of a sudden, the Bead Diggers, who had 4 hits going in, have 2 more. And now we got some dark clouds. We don't want this thing to be delayed. That would be appropriate considering the weather that we've had, but today it's been perfect. Here comes Jim Danley, and I have a feeling that Lane Griman is going to come into the game. He's been their closer all year, and Kaler now has been spotting pitches over the middle of the plate. Yep, and Ryan Kaler did an incredible job, and he will be taken out of the game, at least off the hill. And it looks like it will be Lane Griman to try and close out this game for the Reds as the Bead Diggers have back-to-back hits to begin the bottom of the 7th inning from Gutierrez and Grayson Simmons. And the good thing is that you could see Peterson and Nico Guzman get 1 more at bat in their careers here at Brush High School. All right, so Griman will be on the mound. That means Mossberg will move to third. At second base should be, that should be Stover. And, I believe Kaler will be in center. Tedesco would move to right. That's usually the alignment for the Reds. Griman was the losing pitcher. And that 4-3 Bead Digger victory earlier today. And Kaler was on a roll until the 7th. So here we go. The right-hander will face B.J. Hirschfeld. Hirschfeld has popped out, hit into a fielder's choice, and then popped out again. He's hit everything on the right side. 0 for 3 in the game. Now we got some lightning beyond the left field fence. But let's see if they can finish this game. That's far away. It's quite the distance. Boy, this would be horrible if they had to stop this game because of lightning, but you got to be safe. That's what safety cash first. Hirschfeld digs in. The stretch and the offering. Fastball is grounded up the middle. Shortstop Burkhart to second for one. Stover to first. That is going to be late. Hirschfeld beats it out, and Jim Danley's not happy. He thought he had a 6-4-3 double play. Instead of 6-4 fielder's choice. I mean, that was bang, bang. No doubt about it. But safe was Hirschfeld. So first and third. That is the opening out of the inning. And here is baby Maltos Garcia. He doubled, popped out, and singled. He scored the game's only run for Brush. The B-Diggers scored in the first inning. Since then, the Reds have scored 6 unanswered runs. Off of third is Gutierrez. At first is Hirschfeld. The stretch and the pitch. Swinging a foul off to the right on a ball that jammed him. No balls and one strike. Matos Garcia. Back into the box. The stretch. And he awaits the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Griman is throwing pretty hard here. 0-2. The Reds need 2 more outs to secure the 3A championship in Greeley. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 down and 2 on. 7-1 Eaton in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matos Garcia waits the pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Kuhn. 1-2. Baby has 1/3 of Brush's hits in this game. It's at a very good state tournament. Runners take their leads. The offering. Curveball called strike 3 down the middle. It fooled Baby, and there's 2 down. And here is Kyle Rosenbrock, who has lined out, struck out, and popped out. In the 7th inning, as a freshman, he had a 3-run homer to make it a 6-4 game. The B-Diggers would lose by that margin. Stretch and pitch. Down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Alec Peterson's on deck, and Petey, as a freshman, had an at-bat in the state tournament championship game against Eaton. Wants another one here to close it out. The pitch. Breaking ball is outside. Not to close out the game, but just his career. 2-0 to Rosenbrock. Let's see if Griman grooves in a strike. At third is Gutierrez. Hirschfeld at first. Fastball nearly hit him. 3-0. Yeah, the tying run is still about 3 batters away, though. You need a bunch in a row to reach. 3 balls and no strikes on Rosenbrock. The offering up and in, and the bases are loaded as Rosenbrock walks for Alec Peterson. He will get that at bat. He's popped out, walked, and struck out. And Petey will now bat against Lane Griman with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Brush trailing 7-1. The wine and offering. And that is down and in with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Jim Danley wanted that pitch, so did the Eaton fans, but it was just away. Peterson awaits. And the 1-0. And he takes a curveball down the middle for a strike. And the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gutierrez, Hirschfeld, and Rosenbrock are on the bases. Out of the windup is Griman. He turns, and the offering. Swinging a foul at the plate. 1-2 to Alec Peterson. Petey digs that right foot in. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And try to call time, not granted. And the pitch is down and in. Count is at 2-2. The right-hander Lane Greiman with a 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Here it is. Swung on and lifted into left field. Sean Carson is back. He has room. He makes the catch, and the Eaton Reds are the 2015 Class 3A state champions. The final score, Eaton 7, Brush 1. Let's take a 2-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. The Brush Bee Diggers are being handed the second place trophy for 2015 after the Eaton Reds defeat the Bee Diggers in a Class 3A state championship game from Butch Butler Field in Greeley. They're displaying that runner-up trophy, nothing to be ashamed of, getting this far and falling short against a very talented Eaton Reds team. The final score, 7-1. The Bee Digger postgame show brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center in Sterling Brush in Fort Morgan. Your farm and ranch headquarters for all your farm and ranch supplies. They carry feed for all your animals and pets. Mr. D's Ace Home Center. The Reds win 7-1. The final line score goes like this: 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 10 left on base for Eaton. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors, 10 left on base for Brush. The winning pitcher was Ryan Kaler. He pitched into the 7th and allowed just 4 hits, and the loss went to Ryan Hirschfeld, Brush's second pitcher. Time of the game, 2 hours and 19 minutes. And here is how the game unfolded from Butch Butler Field. The Reds got on the board first. As for the second consecutive game, they scored in the top of the first inning. The Reds would get a Matt Burkhardt RBI single, making it 1-0. Baby Matos Garcia then doubled and would later score in a wild pitch, tying the game at 1. Lane Greiman's sac fly gave Eaton a 2-1 lead in the second. And then some big hits by Brady Tedesco, a 2-run double in the third, making it 4-1, a 2-run single in the fifth, making it 6-1, and then Ryan Kaler hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and that was it. The Bee Diggers did have the bases loaded in the bottom of the 7th inning, but they end the season 19-7. Eaton wins their 11th state title. 26-1 was their 2015 record, defeating the Bee Diggers, and this is tough. Not only because of the loss, but the reality that this unbelievable senior class, Kyle Rosenbrock, the 2A State Football Player of the Year, Mikey Gutierrez, Alec Peterson, Nico Guzman, Grayson Simmons, Zane Fowl, Rene Cardenas, just pulling all these names, of course, out of my head. Hopefully I'm not missing somebody. Brandon Walter, of course. You go back to the football season, the state championship, wrestling runner-up Joe Carwin and Conrad Cole, seniors who won individual state titles. And then that basketball team with Rosenbrock and Guzman and senior Austin Garcia, the leading scorer, Cameron Alexander on that team. Also the football team, just a bevy, an outstanding senior class this year. And I apologize if I didn't get them all in. What an unbelievable season, 2014-2015 for Brush High School. And once again, welcome in the baseball team. Exit Hospital Road, down to Edmonds, to Colorado, right to Edison, back to Hospital Road to Sunset Park. The Brush Fire Department will be doing the work tonight. Greg Maris, should say, passing on that information to me early on in this game, regardless of tonight's result. Proud to be certainly a Brush Bee Digger tonight, even in defeat after the Bee Diggers forced the state championship game by beating Eaton earlier today on a 158-pitch effort from Kyle Rosenbrock, a 4-3 victory as Eaton left the bases loaded in the top of the 7th inning. Very tough to swallow, an emotional end to just an incredible 2014-2015 high school sports season. Best of luck to all the seniors and to the entire Bee Digger community. We'll be back with you in early September when the defending state champions are back on the football field. We'll have all the action right here on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. A reminder, you can always follow us on Twitter at KSIR Sports, our 1010 KSIR Sports Facebook page, and KSIRSports.com during the baseball season, of course, for those pitch-by-pitch updates. Outstanding job, a long day, but a great job done by our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condas. Thanks to all of our sponsors for making all these broadcasts possible and making all the Beat Digger fans happy that we can bring you Brush Beat Digger Sports on 1010 as well as KSIR.com. For our sound engineer and producer, Rose Condas, I'm John Beltran. The Brush Beat Diggers win earlier today over Eaton 4-3, but the Eaton Reds win the 2015 Class 3A State Championship, defeating Brush from Butch Butler Field in Greeley 7-1. And you heard it all right here on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com.